totally knows you're married. We all know Justin Bieber is married. And my favorite joke is that your husband knows you're married when you're at home together during COVID. Like, you don't need to wear your wedding ring around the house during COVID. You can just need the. I guess some people use 2 hands. You don't want to do that. Like, for me, like, I do wear rings. I wear them sometimes, and always end up like fall off. I just take them off, and I'm like, I guess my hands are done. I've been doing that since like a preteen. Because if they start falling off, I'm like, I'm gonna lose them. That's when my hands are done. Because, like, I guess if you hold your finger at different angles, it's like fleshier here. It gets fatter, and then it's like skinnier when you do that. I just give people a complex about their fingers. But like, but then you're holding your finger there, like typing. He wants to see his bench. Let's pick one up. Maybe he left one for us. Oh, now it's gone. Let's walk back manually. I can take you from here. Is he tired? that look when you're like just about to get home. You're like slowing down. Oh, he's looking up at the king. That's cute. Oh, you know how you know if it's a girl or boy? If while you're playing you get lost or not. Can I make music yet? Let's try. I think I need like a few more pieces. All 4 parts of this instrument. Okay. Let's read another book. I could draw more, but I want to wait for. Oh, you know what? I was thinking about this. Let's sit and stare for a second. It's good to do that before you start reading. Okay, so you can move this behind here and still access it. So if I make like a lot of painting drawings and stuff, can I just like start storing them behind there and like take them out and stuff? Center it for now. Okay. Let's just look at the drawings and just see what's going on. Oh, he really wants to see it. Let's just, because we did that yesterday. He wasn't really ready to draw. Just sit down and read. Now we're ready to read. Let's go. I don't know if he wants to read his thoughts. Thus spoke Zarathustra 1. Oh, we were going to read the second page of Moby Dick, right? Oh, you had to scroll back? I love this one. There we go. Oh, we read the first sentence. Then I counted high time to get to see it as soon as I can. This is my substitute for pistol and ball. With a philosophical flourish, Cato? I'm going to say Cato. Cato throws himself upon his sword. I quietly take to the ship. My friend said that he moved to a place near college, off campus, and it was Nevis, and they were like, I'm going to call it Nevis. Or Nevis. I forget which one they picked. But like they just decided what they were going to call their street. So I'm going to call it Cato. With a philosophical flourish, Cato throws Oh, Cato like the scene? Like, isn't that like a Montreal song? With a philosophical flourish, Cato throws himself upon his sword. I quietly take to the ship. There is nothing surprising in this. If they but knew it, almost all men in their degree, some time or other, cherish very nearly the same feelings toward the ocean with me. There now is your insular, it's not hard to say, insular. It doesn't sound right when I say it. There now is your insular, I've never said out loud before. There now is your insular city of the Manhattoes, belted round by wharves as Indian isles by coral reefs. Commerce surrounds it with her surf. Right and left, the streets take you waterward. Its extreme downtown is the Battery, where the noble mole is washed by waves and cooled by breezes which a few hours previous were out of sight of land. Look at the crowds of water gazers there. So he likes the sea, goes to the ship, and other people like the ocean as well. They like the shipping as well. And then there's the city of Manhattoes. And they're describing it like invisible cities if you went to far. So he's describing commerce surrounds it with her surf. So I guess there's commerce there, unless it's figurative. The streets take you waterward. That's part of the city, like a beach town. The downtown is the Battery of the city, kind of like fuels what's going on. Seems like bustling. And it seems like it's cooled by breezes, the downtown. And a few hours previously, they could not see it. And there are crowds of water gazers, so they're not just there to shop. Okay, thus spoke Zarathustra. Should we read the first page of this too, or are we going to get confused? Who gets confused when they're reading two books at the same time? Let's read it. Let's not be weird. Let's read this. Thus spake Zarathustra. I've heard of this book too. I haven't heard of the Goose Girl. First part. Zarathustra's Discourses. Zarathustra's Prologue. That means the beginning. When Zarathustra was 30 years old, yay! Something about the 30s. Nobody writes about the 30s. When Zarathustra was 30 years old, he left his home. Oh, these are both like, it seems like adventure stories. You know, that's like so appropriate for this cave. When Zarathustra was 30 years old, he left his home and the lake of his home, and God has such a sense of humor for making like a lake and an ocean in the beginning. He left his home, and when Zarathustra was 30 years old, he left his home and the lake of his home, and went into the mountains. There he enjoyed his spirit and solitude, and for 10 years did not weary of it. But at last his heart changed, and rising one morning with the rosy dawn, he went before the sun and spake thus unto it: Thou great star, what would be thy happiness if thou hadst not those for whom thou shinest? So Zarathustra, it's a boy. It sounds like a girl name because it ends with A, but it's a boy. Maybe it's unisex, it's Sasha. Okay, so when he was 30 years old, he left his home and the lake of his home. That's probably important. He probably really likes the lake, if it's said like that. Went into the mountains. So he was in solitude. That means he was alone. And for 10 years, he did not weary of it. That's really appropriate for this cave, that he was alone for 10 years and he liked it. He didn't get sick of it. That's what weary means. But at last his heart changed. So that means that he wanted something else. And rising one morning with the rosy dawn, that means he rising is getting up with the rosy, that's like a rose-colored morning. He went before the sun. So that meant he just kind of left his house, and it's like a dramatic. Maybe it's metaphorical, but it just seems like he dramatically like rose up and went out in front of the sun and spake unto it. So he, thou great star, sun is a star, What would be thy happiness if thou hadst not those for whom thou shinest? So what would be the sun's happiness? So would the sun be happy? What would be the sun's happiness if it didn't, if not for the people it's shone for? So it's saying the sun is happy because it shines for other people. We'll just read the next sentence into the next page. For 10 years hast thou climbed hilter unto my cave. Thou wouldst have wearied of thy light and of the journey, had it not been for me, mine eagle and mine servant. So, so he was saying that the sun shines for other people, and then he's telling the sun that if the sun, I guess his house doesn't have any windows, because he said if the sun had gone into his house, it would have, the sun wouldn't have been happy if it weren't for him. I think mine eagle and mine serpent are like metaphors. Because he's saying you would have been worried if not for me, my eagle and my serpent. Serpent is like a snake, eagle is a bird. So I don't know if he actually has those things, but like an eagle is kind of like a symbol maybe of like freedom, of a spirit, and serpents might be like, I don't know, it just sounds really good. Had it not been for me, mine eagle and my serpent. Just sounds like good. It's probably not literal. So, let's do some idle reading. We'll start them on the second page. And we'll come back to this. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Boy, that was an hour. I'm like so behind on uploading to you. But I'll do it. Okay. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you had a good time. Just like we had a good time. Me and Shade had a good time. Because you can have a good time anywhere. I love you very much.